look, let's just rip the Band-Aid right off, ladies and gentlemen, and get into the replaced information. Now, of course, this is the Sad Cat Studio is the developer. They are making a game called Replace. I think everyone that is an Xbox fan is certainly looking forward to this. It is dropping into Xbox Game Pass. It is a 2.5D side scroller in a cyberpunk with a cyberpunk layer of paint on it. It has a lot of gunplay. The game has shown off really well every time we've seen it. But, again, the team is incredibly small, and we were hoping that Gamescom, which happens in a couple of weeks, would actually reveal not only another gameplay trailer, but a release date. Unfortunately, that is not, in fact, the case here because we have confirmation that the game, unfortunately, is going to be delayed into 2025. And you know something? That's okay. It is a game where I don't know where it fits in the ridiculous lineup from August through the end of November. It is a stacked deck. And I'm not just talking about for Xbox. I know that Sony is light on the back end. You still have Astrobot, and they still have a bunch of, games that are only releasing on their platform. So if you're a Sony-only gamer, you're going to have some stuff to play. Nintendo, I mean, what could you say? Even some of the stuff that they're releasing may not be your cup of tea, but they have a lot of games. This is a stacked next couple of months. So this is okay. I want this game to land. I want it to hit. I want it to be something that people talk about. And if a delay is necessary to make sure all of those things happen, Jamie, that is perfectly fine. So before I bring you in on the conversation, let me read verbatim the actual press release from Sad Cat Studios. And it says this, folks. Hi, everyone. We'll keep it short. Replaced will now be released in 2025. Our initial release date was optimistic, and we apologize for that. Developing Replaced is quite a unique challenge, and we're proud to be creating something that's special. We need more time to ensure we meet the high standards we've set for ourselves and to meet the expectations of our fans. Feel free to join our Discord. We post lots of devlogs there to share the progress and are open for a chat. Replaced was featured at Summer Games Fest earlier this month, and now it would also be finally be available at Gamescom for everyone to play. Come say hi. For those not attending, we've prepared something special for later this week. Now back to work. We want you to love Replaced when it launches, so we have to go the extra mile here. Obviously, regards, Sad Cat Studios team. I mean, Jamie, look, here's the thing. You and I were talking prior to going live, and we are both in the same mindset where game or games potentially that are going to be pushed out into 2025, like now Replaced, like Avowed before it. You know something? It's fine because we do have a lot to play, especially if you are a multi-console owner. There is a lot on your plate. I mean, if you just look at what's happening for the remainder of August, it's a stacked deck. And of course, you got the new Star Wars game happening. You have obviously the new Assassin's Creed in Japan, something most of us have been asking for. You still have Indiana Jones. You still have a ton of other stuff coming. What are your thoughts on the delay, man?
I mean, this is one of my most anticipated indie games. Like, it is a 2.5D cyberpunk game inspired by Aliens, Blade Runner, and Upgrade. That's literally up my alley, right? It literally made specifically for me. So, like, I was really excited for this. It was announced, I think, in 2022. These games are extremely complicated to make. You know, every 2.5D game that's been in development like this has been delayed time after time again. There was a game announced in 2017 called The Last Night. Still isn't out.
Nope.
And there was another game announced about a year ago called Neon Blood, which is a cross between Blade and Blade Runner. That still isn't out yet. you just have these small teams. These games, they may be 2.5D, but technically they are really impressive with the lighting they do and all that stuff. You know, the interactive crowds, all that simulation stuff. So it's a shame. You know, delays don't bother me. They really don't. They are a shame because you look forward to these games for months or years. But at the end of the day, these games are made by a lot of people, sometimes hundreds, if not thousands. And I think if you look at the past decade, in every single release in the AAA space, at least, we get big day one patches or games released completely broken to the point where they become memes, and no matter how much they're fixed, there's no recovery. You know,
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed Unity. I'm a huge Assassin's Creed fan. AC Unity has some of the best movement of the entire franchise, and it's literally a meme because people were spawning without faces.
Yeah, it's
And
true.
you know, to this day, it's still technically impressive. But again, it's a meme. People don't like it. It's on sale for like £2 all the time in the UK.
Yeah.
So like, it never escaped that. You know, Cyberpunk that launched as a mess, but now it's in an amazing state to the point where it's way better than they even promised it was going to be. So at the end of the day, it's like, do you want a broken game or do you want one that works? And I think, you know, the delay makes sense. And even if they aren't delaying it for polish, this year is absolutely packed. As someone that covers upcoming games on my YouTube channel, there's almost too many releases coming out this year. There's still games going to be announced over the next week and a half
Yep.
that release this year.
Yes.
And like, I have a database of upcoming games coming to Xbox, and you know, some of these are multi-platform as well. But in general, like September packed, October really packed, November it's getting really packed. The only other way people could release games this year is maybe the last week of November, but then you're hitting around Stalker 2 and the first week of December, and developers don't like to release games in December. So it's a shame. I was really looking forward to this, and it's going to be a big day one Game Pass game. I think a lot of people are going to love it. Has major Castlevania vibes, but I think the writing was on the wall. They haven't really talked about release dates for a while, and honestly, the year is just two packs. I mean, Avowed was going to be one of the biggest releases this year when it came to RPGs, and it got pushed to 2025. And the developer literally said, just to
It's
give
too
it some
much.
space. Yeah,
Yeah.
and like that's honest because literally there's too many games coming out this year, and that's a good problem to have. But if you're releasing a big game or little game, depending on when you release a game, it could destroy the game. We look at Titanfall 2 today as one of the best single player first person shooter campaigns ever made, but
Yep.
when it released, it bombed. Nobody bought it because it released snap dab right in the middle between Call of Duty and Battlefield, and Titanfall was an amazing game. You look at the first game, which launched exclusively on Xbox, you know, and it was on Xbox 360 and PC, but that reached 11 million copies in its lifetime. Titanfall 2 was on everything and didn't even touch 5 million copies as far as we
Yeah, it's a
know.
shame.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a shame. And it's because of its release window. And it's a shame. It's understandable at the end of the day because, like, if I was making a game, I wouldn't even think about releasing it this year at this point. It's just two packs. And I have a feeling that, you know, 2025 is going to be packed as well. Developers are going to have to be really careful when they release games next year because you have big hitters like Fable and GTA 5 and other big games coming out. So, like, the first half of next year is going to be really packed. The good thing is that over the next 18 months, there's going to be a lot of good games coming, and people aren't really going to be wanting for something fresh because there's always going to be something.
Speak of the devil, even though he's not. Umbra, what's going on, my brother? How you feeling?
How do you know I'm not the devil? No, I'm joking. I'm good, boom. Good morning. Good morning, Jamie.
Hey, man.
Yeah, a bit tired. I actually dozed off of just a bit before I got on, but I should be able to make it through the show. Glad
Well,
to be here.
we're gonna do a quick 90 minutes. We actually had a change in plans because you, along with Jamie, had DM'd me, and Jamie has already broken it down as well as I for the delay of Replaced. I know you
Yeah.
specifically are really like Jamie, looking forward to this game. I read the press release. It seems, you know, standard fare. They want more time. Jamie and I seem to be on the same page where we think that even though they didn't say it in the presser, this might be there's just too many games this fall. Where do you put it? Let's talk about that, because the team is only 23 people making this game. It's a small team. What are your thoughts on the delay?
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, it was brought to my attention because I guess looking at it, I kind of forgot, because this is like the third or fourth one for it or something like that.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But it was brought to my attention when somebody else mentioned. I think it was actually that Blue Number. She was like, "Oh, the Ukrainian studio." I'm like, "Oh yeah."
Yep.
Once that kind of hit, I guess it hit the old noggin, and it kind of gave me a reality check. So yeah, disappointed obviously, but at the same time, reasonably so, to a point where it's like, hey, well, they're in Ukraine. We know what's going on over there in the real world. So I can't exactly be like, oh, they need to get this out here. It's ridiculous. It is what it is. I'll wait until 2025. We, like you said, we have so much to play this fall in general. I don't think we're going to be like, I don't think we'll suffer without it. You know what I mean? So it's just a matter of, I guess it's a first world issue, as they would say. It's just something we can have the luxury to complain about that they don't necessarily have that luxury of.
Yep.
So yeah, I disappointed, but understood and understanding of the situation. So tempered with that, it's not, it's a non-issue to me, I would say.